Hello everyone, this is video number 1 in my business etiquette series, and today I would like to talk about the subject that's very important, and that is body language. So have you ever met someone and immediately you felt uncomfortable in their presence even before they said a word? Or maybe the opposite, maybe you found somebody to be very warm and inviting and open, but yet they haven't said anything yet. So what was it that made that situation the way it was? Well, it was body language. So body language is non-verbal language that you give by your face and by your body that says a lot about how you're feeling, or maybe gives away some hints as to your personality, or if you're friendly or unfriendly or aggressive or passive, etc. So it's very important. You can have defensive body language, which means you're expressing discomfort or irritation or displeasure, like the first example that I gave, or you can have positive body language, which means you're smiling a lot, you're using eye contact, you're encouraging engagement. So like the second example I made before. So today I specifically want to talk about giving you 7 tips for good body language in the workplace. And that is really important because you want to have healthy and productive interactions with your colleagues. And so sometimes, for example, the things that you may be saying, like we've said before in the other video, it's not necessarily what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. You may be giving the most important information. You may be a really good team player, but your body language may be saying something totally different. So the first step to improving your body language and to make sure that the words that you're saying and what your body is saying is aligned is to understand what you're doing already. So the first thing is I would like to talk about arms crossed. Okay, arms crossed like this. This is a very defensive positioning, either while standing or sitting. It is closed off. You have basically physically closed off everyone from you with this posture. So an alternative to this I would like to offer is, if you're sitting down, I would like to offer putting your hands on the table like this. Imagine a table is here and you just put your hands on the table. Or like this. You can also put them on your lap, but that could be considered that you're hiding something if some people really like to see other people's hands. Okay, tip number 2, slouching. Okay, so if you're sitting at a meeting and you are sitting away from the person that's speaking or presenting, and you're kind of slouching back like this, so your shoulders are back, your body is away from the person that's speaking to you directly, and it gives off an impression that you're not interested and that you're not paying attention. Now that may not be how you're feeling, but that is what your body is saying. So no matter what your words are saying, that is what your body is saying. So to make sure that they're saying the same thing, you want to lean in. So you don't want to aggressively lean in. So this would be a little bit too much. But imagine again, the table is here and you want to lean in a little bit. So it shows that you're paying attention, that you're engaged, that you care. So that way, what you're feeling and how you're showing it through your body is aligned. Okay, tip number 3. Tapping the fingers like this, or tapping your feet. Okay, tapping your feet, a lot of people do that subconsciously, don't even know that they're doing that. Or this kind of also, if they are not even realizing this is happening. This shows impatience. This could mean to somebody, if they're speaking to you, or even if they're speaking to a group of people and they notice you're doing this, that you're not very interested in what they're saying, that you want them to finish speaking, and that this is boring to you. This is what this is showing, that you are impatient for whatever they're saying to be finished and over. The same thing with tapping of the feet. It means that you are not fully focused on what is going on in the meeting or the person speaking to you, and that you want it to be over with. That's what it's saying. So some alternatives to that are really just try to control those habits. That is a really tough one to do. But try, if you want for your feet, to keep both feet planted on the ground so that does not happen, and your hands, again, on the table. It would be better if you could place them on the table. It's always better palms up, by the way, versus palms down. Palms down means that you're hiding something. Palms up and open means that you are being honest and open about something, maybe open to ideas, open about communication, etc. So always, if you can, palms up, not palms down. Okay, tip number 4, crossing your legs. Okay. So crossing your legs can mean a lot of different things. It can mean, for example, if you cross your legs at your ankles, this is actually a polite way to cross your legs. It's the most polite way to cross your legs. However, for some people may interpret that as not being honest, that you are not being honest because you crossed something. Again, crossing your body like this is a defensive response. It's like you're closing somebody off, like you're putting an X, yeah? So it might be better not to do that. It also, sometimes if you cross your legs away from somebody, and that can indicate that you are not liking that person or not liking what the person is saying, or do not want to be near that person. And the opposite is you are crossing your legs towards somebody. It means you're engaging with them. You're turning towards them. So Depending on how you're sitting, you could be telling somebody something that maybe you don't want to be telling them, or you're not expressing how you really feel about something. Or in some cultures, showing the bottom of your feet, which can happen if you cross your legs, is really offensive. So you don't want to do that. So the best answer here is to put your feet flat on the floor and try to keep it that way. You're not going to offend anybody. You're not going to say anything. Your body language is not going to give you away or miscommunicate something that way. Okay, tip number 5, hands at the hip, like this. Okay, hands at the hip is that you are upset or frustrated or impatient about something. It's not a very positive body language thing to do. It's a very natural movement because it's a comfortable movement. It's some place to put your hands. We all struggle a little bit with a place to put our hands when we're speaking. And so sometimes we just do that. So if you're doing that standing up, try to place your hands on your side. Do not place your hands in front of your body. This is a very submissive pose. People are accepting of it, but it's a little submissive. So if you want to be neutral, totally neutral, just put your hands at your side. If you want to use your hands, which I said before, you want to keep your hands open and up like this and use them expressively, not turned down or like this. It's a pushing away or aggressive. And then if your hands are down, it can be seen as not being very honest or open. Okay, tip number 6. Eye contact. Okay, for my earlier post, eye contact is really important. Most people can tolerate 3 to 4 seconds of eye contact without feeling uncomfortable. But if you do not use eye contact in most cultures, I'm going to put that in parentheses, in most cultures, if you do not use eye contact, people will find it to be rude or that you're not interested or that you're not open or that you're not engaged. So try to always at least make some kind of eye contact to indicate to the person speaking to you that you are engaged with them. Don't do this. Don't look down at the floor. Looking down at the floor and not the person speaking to you means that you're hiding something, or that you are weak, or that you are uncomfortable with the situation. You're indicating being uncomfortable. So you do not need to hold the eye contact for hours at a time. If you know the person well and you feel comfortable, please go ahead. But if you don't feel comfortable, it's just the initial eye contact needs to be made. And then after that, you can look elsewhere. In my post, I gave some tips about where to look. You can look at somebody's in the middle of their eyebrow. You can look at their ear. They've done some testing to say that there actually is no way to tell whether or not you're looking exactly at the eye or looking at another part of the face. The important part is to look at the face. And you can train yourself to make more eye contact. Again, check out my post on that topic that I did earlier. Okay, and the last tip is hands up or hands down, which I've already talked about. This is tip number 7, but this is very important. So when you're speaking, you want to keep your hands open and up. This means that you are open and up, that you are expressing truth, that you are communicating openly, that you are open to ideas. It means a lot of different things. It's also a very approachable. You are approachable. If you have your hands down, it means that maybe you're not telling the truth, maybe you're hiding something, you're closed off, you're not approachable. It's not a positive body language sign to use with your hands down. Okay, so those are my 7 tips for body language. It's very important to try to identify what you are doing already. One tip of figuring that out is to record yourself if you can, even if it's on these Zoom calls, which is a great opportunity, by the way, because nobody else can see that you are recording yourself. So you can actually take your phone and record yourself on the Zoom conversation, assuming you have permission of the other person to have their voice. Make sure we get full permission. You can record yourself, or even better, you can record yourself speaking to your family members, which I'm sure they would not mind if you're being recorded. So as long as you get that permission, you record yourself speaking to somebody else, and you can see what happens with your body language. You can see what you're doing, what you're not doing, what you should be doing, etc. That's a really good way to see that. Also, you can ask your colleagues for advice and help. Have you seen me doing this? What do you feel? Do you feel like I'm giving off a positive body language vibe? Do you think that my body language is communicating how I really am? So these are some suggestions on how to gauge how your body language is going at work. I hope this is helpful. Please check out the other videos in my other series on communications, as well as future videos in this business etiquette series. Thank you so much.